Hi everyone. This week we're at the MVP Summit, which is a great occasion for us to meet a couple of our friends, which we don't always see. It's also a great opportunity for some interesting discussions, and one of which that Jeff and I had this week is about Outlook Mobile. So it's no secret that I really like Outlook Mobile. I use it all the time. I help my customers get on Outlook Mobile. But Jeff here is not an opponent of Outlook Mobile, but he's still using the built-in client.
I use an iPhone. I use iOS, and so I'm using the built-in Apple Mail app. I'm having a problem with Outlook Mobile in that because I work with so many tenants, and some of those tenants have Intune management. I can only have one of those accounts on my phone. So unlike iOS using ActiveSync, I can add all those accounts. So for me, I can't use it. And I see all this goodness coming out in, I see it on the blogs and on Twitter and all this great integration with Outlook Mobile, but unfortunately, I can't take advantage of it. And it just doesn't work for me. But love to hear your thoughts on it.
So I have customers that, for this reason, they do not they remove the Intune policies a little bit. So they especially for Outlook, because that's really a problem. It's for many of us being consultants working with many companies. That's a problem.
Right.
But secondly, I would ask the question: How do you look into groups then in Office 365 groups, because the app is gone? So you don't have access anymore on a mobile device to your groups without Outlook.
I mean, there's a couple of things here, right? First of all, there's the Intune piece. And I think, we're all in agreement Outlook Mobile as an app, epic. It's just Outlook Mobile with Intune that generates some unique challenges, which you can debate whether they are widespread or not. I'm facing the same issues as Jeff. I've got multiple customers, multiple identities. I really want to use them in the Outlook Mobile app. However, because most of my customers want to be secure, they've got app protection policies, or they've got an MDM policy, or some other MDM policies that apply to Outlook, and therefore, that kind of fights on my device, and I can choose one or the other. But you said, some of my customers then remove the MDM policy so that you can start using multiple identities. But then, they poke a hole in their security strategy. So it's a little bit the chicken or the egg problem where, if you were to choose, like you're a CEO of a company, you can choose between security or, you are. Actually, you are. So, if you had to choose between securing your data, making sure it's secure, or opening it up so that people are conveniently can use multiple accounts, some of which are not in your organization, what do you choose?
Yeah. So, it is a tough dilemma. I see, all the goodness, like I said, that's coming out of Outlook Mobile, and it kills me that I can't use it. I recommend it to my customers. My customers that run it they're very, very happy with it. I've been told, working with several different tenants, you're in the 2%. We're marketing toward the people who are, they have one email account in a tenant. I get that. Just unfortunately for me, I can't use it.
So you don't use a mixture. So you use only mail, because I do also sometimes a mixture.
Yeah, I don't want to
Outlook for those accounts. And mail for those. And
so interesting, because I tried that for a while. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's just use my Outlook Mobile for my corporate account. I've got a personal tenant as well, so I'm going to use the iPhone built-in app for my personal tenant.
How's that work?
I hated the disjointed experience. I had to start using the built-in calendar app, which is horrible.
Oh, see, I love it.
I love it as well.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're used to the Outlook experience, I have such a hard time going back.
Right.
How do you treat your contacts? Do you synchronize the contacts using ActiveSync? Because I synchronize the contacts and I synchronize the calendars just to keep it in sync.
Well, it's not that they're not in sync. I mean, I could keep them in sync. It's just, the built-in app, I really don't like the built-in app. I like the fact that, like in Outlook, you've got Outlook Mail, you've got your contacts, you've got your calendar. It's all in a single app, and I really like that. So it's not so much the synchronization part, you get that right, but it's more, and iOS is actually the better one, right? Because we don't have to forget there's also Android. Now, in my tenant, one of the things I did is I disabled basic authentication. I'm like, nope, I'm not going to do this because it's a security problem. or a challenge. But Outlook supports OAuth, great. You can do more authentication, multi-factor authentication, but Android doesn't.
Right.
So that brings you in a dilemma. Am I going to allow basic authentication into my organization just because I want to be able to use the built-in mail app, or
But for me, it's a choice of either not using my mobile for mail or opening it up or leaving it open to a basic auth. And I have to be able to use my mobile device, and I have to be able to get to my customers' emails.
You want the productivity.
Yeah,
because if you disable it. I had a customer where I said, you know what, you enable these policies for Outlook, so I don't connect anymore to the internal mail. You can reach me using my personal mail or my business mail, but not the internal mail of your company. Yeah? Because, if you add the mail, a different email address to your mobile phone, you also keep looking at it in your off business hours. And that's something, by the way, that's something I don't really like sometimes, especially when I'm on vacation.
Yeah.
The greatest feature I liked in Windows Phone Mail was you were able to turn off separate accounts for a certain time from syncing. Yeah. Like XPTA, I turn it off because I know I'm in the next 2 weeks. I'm on vacation. I don't want to synchronize. I don't want to see
You
anything.
do that in iOS Mail.
Well, in iOS Mail you can, but not in Outlook. If you remove an Outlook, it's gone everywhere. It's Teams, it's OneDrive, it's Outlook.
if you remove,
You guys are solid me on this.
Oh, you're good. Maybe I switched.
maybe a valid point. I mean, I never had that use case. I mean, I sync it, either I don't look at it, so I didn't even know it was a Windows Phone. I was a huge Windows Phone fan, so God have its soul. But yeah, it's not a problem. And I think this illustrates really well that the landscape is still diverse, because we've got three different opinions here. Love Outlook, but can't use it, really want to, but can't. I'm like, I'll use it no matter what, even with the little things that don't work, I'll make it work. Or security. And you're kind of like, so you're with me.
Yeah.
That's 2-1, Jeff.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess
I don't use mail. But as I said, I synchronize contacts and calendar. Yeah, which is just no mail.
So you use mail and Outlook, but you use contacts and calendar on the native apps.
Both in Outlook and the native apps. So it's both.
That's interesting.
Wow.
Because the contacts are much better if you synchronize them to your. Because you can modify it. Yeah. With Outlook, you cannot modify it.
And here's the thing, right? I agree. You can export contacts to iOS or to Android, and you can read them there. You can edit them, but the edits don't get back into your account. So I agree this is a challenge, but that's not an Outlook mobile issue. That's an issue of the operating system not allowing you to do these things, and making it really hard. And yes, that is something I hear really, really very often. But sometimes, you also have to, train or encourage your users to think outside of the box and be like, yeah, you've always done it this way, but why don't you just open the app and start managing your contacts there? Because you've got a much richer experience. And it took me a while to actually move to Outlook to start managing my contacts, but now I'm used to it. And the benefit is
learning a new way of doing it.
It's a new way of doing, but it's in my Outlook, it's in my OAuth, it's in my Outlook mobile, it's everywhere I go. It's always the same, and I don't have to wonder about the synchronization everywhere, which the contacts on the phone are just on the phone, or your iCloud, or your iPad, not Outlook.
No, you synchronize them back into Outlook.
Well, if you...
And I would say I switched because, for example, there's apps like WhatsApp or Messenger, and here you get a new phone number and you add it.
Yeah.
But it's on your phone and it's not synchronized back in Outlook. And
but the thing is, what you just did is you're using the contact synchronization from the native app, which means if you're on Android, you're allowing basic authentication to your tenant.
Okay.
Which for me is a security challenge, which I'm not willing to forfeit in the majority of the cases unless I absolutely have to. So it's on a per exception basis. So you're poking a hole again in your security strategy just to allow that capability. Right. And you're not missing out on the capability because you could do it just from Outlook mobile instead of the native app.
But as I said, correct.
Not unless you have.
So you need to copy that over.
So,
so It's a user
just
problem.
like everything else. There's 500 different ways to get your email. You know, you need to do what's best for you and what's best for your company, and you know how it works is it's really almost a personal decision. There's no doubt that Windows Mobile, Outlook Mobile will give you the best end-to-end user experience, and in a holistic exchange online, you get OME encryption, you get everything all within the app. Gives the best experience, but if I can't use it with certain accounts, it becomes not useful for me. But that's me.
No, I agree. I mean, it shows there is, you know, different opinions, which is good. And we would love to hear from you on how you're using Outlook Mobile, what your challenges are, and maybe start a discussion. So, you know, if you like this video, make some comments, you know, get the discussion started, because we'd love to hear your opinion. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you later.
Thanks.
Thanks.